Hi, I'm Kay. I'm a wellness professional, big nerd, and I have bilateral high frequency hearing loss. I also wear hearing aids. So I am super excited to take you into my world, my hearing loss journey with House Institute on Now Listen.
Hey Kay, welcome back. So by now, I think we've all realized that you are a high achiever with many accomplishments, as well as some exciting entrepreneurial aspirations. So I would love to know more about how you have managed to truly thrive in the workplace with a disability, and any advice that you have for employers looking to create a more inclusive environment, as well as for those with hearing loss looking to really excel in the workplace.
Great question. So thank you for all that accolades. Like, oh, okay. So for myself and excelling in the workplace, I think a couple of things have helped me. First, never be afraid to ask questions. Like people, whoever I work with, they make a running joke like, oh, Kay, do you have any questions now? Because I'll ask questions. Like if I don't understand or there's not clarity about things that I can't execute, I can't be the best person I need to be for an organization or even myself. So as many questions you need to ask, you ask them. Never be afraid to ask questions. So even if it's like, hey, can you repeat yourself? I didn't hear that. Can you restate that? What do you mean by that? Ask those questions because 9 times out of 10, there's someone else on the line or in that workforce environment who has a question, but they don't want to seem like disengage or seem like they're not paying attention or seem silly or stupid. I don't know. I think people just internalize that, oh, if I ask too many questions, it means that I'm not being present in the moment. Like, no, it's quite the opposite. When you ask questions, that means it shows that you're processing and you're trying to understand information in a way to better just equip yourself to perform a task for yourself or an organization. So definitely ask questions. Another thing that I do because of my hearing loss that I've gotten a lot of compliments for actually is restating what are the deliverables after a meeting. At the end of every meeting, it's good to just get like 3 or 4 bullet points of how you understood the meeting. Like, for example, what I like to say is just to make sure I understood correctly, we are going to do X, Y, and Z. And then everyone's like, oh yeah, that's what we said. Or maybe like, no, Krystle, that last point, we actually meant it this way. It gives people time to clarify their points and what the action steps are after the meeting. So I really encourage you to like do a little bit of a mini recap just for yourself. You don't have to do it for everyone. Don't feel any pressure whatsoever to recap notes for everyone. So 2 things. That doesn't mean to say that you should become the recorder or the note taker for every meeting, because that is a lot of emotional labor. So people in the workforce better supporting hearing people, you should start having designated note takers, whether it's around in a circle. So maybe one time one person takes notes for the meeting to recap things, or you take a turn. You should always have recap notes after a meeting. A good app for this that I recommend is called Otter AI. So Otter, OTTER dot, A as in apple, I as in igloo. Otter.ai has a free version that you can use and also a paid version that gives you more memory space. And what Otter does, it allows you to take recordings and it live transcribes the conversation. It also does a really cool aspect where it summarizes your meeting notes and summarizes high level the words that were spoken about the most. So if you speak about a particular topic all the time during the meeting, Otter's intelligence actually summarizes that part of the conversation or those words. So it marks it as very important for you to revisit later. So if you don't want to do the note taker aspect where everybody's taking notes for the meeting, I really encourage the workforce individuals to invest in Otter.ai in order to have a machine actually live transcribe your notes, because now me as a person, a hard of hearing individual, I can open up the transcript as it's being typed in real time and watch what's being said and engage that way. And the workforce organizations also win because now you have a nice summary of your notes and live transcriptions of your notes that you can reference later. So just in case you're like, what did so-and-so say about this partnership? You can go back to the meeting notes, look exactly what's being said, and look at the summary notes. So everybody wins in that situation. Another way that workforce organizations can support people with hearing loss is to invest in platforms that have built-in closed captioning, especially now that we're more in a virtual space due to COVID. A lot of people are still working from home. I encourage you to either invest in third-party platforms like Otterai and integrate it into Zoom for live transcriptions. Maybe you can invest in other third-party platforms to integrate with Zoom so live transcriptions can be available for people who need it. Or my favorite thing to do is actually go to Google Meets, because Google Meets has a built-in live closed captioning feature. You don't have to integrate anything. You could actually go on Google Meets, click the closed captioning button, and it actually types what's being said in real time. So we're investing in those tools and those technologies are very important. Another way that workforce organizations can support people with hearing loss is to really listen to them and hear what they need for support. So some people need cart services where they have someone come in and live type their notes for very important meetings. They might need you to pay for tools like a speaker or a particular app for them to have in order to be fully present for the meeting. So really putting your money where your mouth is very important. So really having a separate budget to support those with disabilities with, I think the terminology is reasonable accommodations. Like if you want that person to engage and be fully themselves and fully present in the workforce, you need to invest the money. So those are advice for workforce individuals. When it comes to people who are actually working, if you're in like a boardroom situation, to identify who's going to speak the most, maybe it's a presentation, and you so sit closer to that person or request like a seat closer to wherever the audio input is going to be. If you have assistive technology like myself with hearing aids and it's linked to like your phone or a microphone, my hearing aids are linked to both these devices, making sure that your speaker is maybe in the middle of the table where everyone can speak towards the middle of the table so the speaker can pick up those sounds and then stream directly into your hearing aids, as well as another option. I guess the goal, just in summary, is to make sure that you're sitting or you're linked to the audio input as close as possible. That's the goal. Like wherever the predominant audio is going to be, you either want to sit closer to it or you want to link your device to that audio input directly so you can get the clearest, crispest sound. Because if you're sitting all the way in the back and the audio input is actually in the front of the room, it has to travel through all that air, all that room just to get to you. So you want to get the clearest audio possible and get closer to that source. Trying to think of anything else that has been very helpful for me. I think overall, just letting people know you have a hearing loss. I mean, it took me a while. I'm not gonna lie to you. It took me a while to even tell people that I had a hearing loss. I don't know, maybe it's my perfectionism or overachieverness, or just not wanting to be quote unquote a burden to others and things of that nature. Like a lot of things I personally have to heal from. Sometimes we get trapped in thinking, oh, if I tell somebody this, I'm going to be looked at differently, or I'm going to be seen as a burden in the workforce and things of that nature. But I mentioned in another video, similar to dating, if you disclosing your disability or your hearing loss causes people to like look at you differently or treat you differently or not provide the support for you to be there, then it's time to look for another job. It is time to look for my last job. That was one of the points. That was actually one of the points. I had certain coworkers, I won't identify who because you might look them up. So, but they've made some jokes like, oh, Krystle, now you're hearing today. You actually understood what I said. It's just those little belittling comments where I was like, oh, it is time to go. It is time to look for another job because that's not the type of energy that you deserve. It'll only weigh you down. So I'm a big fan of while you have a job, look for another job. If that's the way it is, like shift yourself, especially now with COVID and things of that nature, there are more remote opportunities available. So if you need to change your environment or start to work for yourself, I definitely recommend you doing that as well. Don't be afraid to reevaluate things and say, you know what, I just need to be in a different environment, whether it's relationships or with jobs that can fully support me and fully love and provide resources for me in a way that I feel fully present and cared for in this space. So those are my words of advice for people in the workforce to, be better allies, and also for yourself, if you have a hearing loss, to just advocate for yourself and getting the resources and tools you need to better understand and be present in the moment. Closed caption everything. Everything should be closed captioned or closed caption accessible. So I should be able to go on a Zoom meeting and captions be free.
Hello, my name is Dr. Kevin Peng, neurotologist here at the House Institute. Thank you for watching this video. The House Institute provides free educational videos for hearing health professionals worldwide. To help support videos like these and other educational efforts, please consider donating by clicking the link in the description box below. Your generous support allows us to keep videos like these at no cost for you and others. Thank you.